Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, it's how I built out my card collection on MTG Arena. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, the one, the only, the sorta smells slightly of elderberries, Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Film before our live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mother. All right, so what's going on today? Today I'm doing something different, at least just for this video. Today we're going to be answering some viewer mail. Time to answer viewer mail. All right, what do we got here? We got from Adam Duquette 8912. He asks, nearly 1,000 decks played on your channel. I hadn't realized I made it that far yet. I need to know, how do you build your card collection on Arena? Are you in cahoots with WotC? That's aka Wizards of the Coast. Drafting a ton? Or are you spending your real-life lunch money on some fine luxury digital cardboard rectangles? I'm always feeling like I can't get what I need to try new decks, and no other MTG content creator actually talks about this. Totes. I know what you're talking about. Tell you, there was a time a while ago that people were putting out videos about this kind of stuff. And I remember watching it. I asked the same questions. I remember I was watching a video one time and, mathematically there is an answer for how to best build out your Magic card collection. And if I remember it correctly, there was one answer. It was drafting. Drafting. That's how you do it. All right, so let's get down to it. So I'll tell you what that is. The deal with drafting is that it costs you whatever it is, 500 coins or something, right? And then you automatically get some cards when you draft, because that's just the way drafting works. You get your little draft packs. And then when you win, you get at least like one additional pack just for playing. But when you win, more likely if you draft really well, you will get some more packs out of that deal. And then if you do especially well, you'll actually get some more coins, hopefully enough coins to be able to draft again. So therefore, for one tiny amount of 500 coins, you can set yourself into a self-repeating cycle of getting packs. But that does require that you do fairly well at drafting. My biggest problem with that is that it takes up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of your time. And if you don't enjoy drafting, then, you're not enjoying what you're doing. And Magic the Gathering Arena is a game, and games are meant to be enjoyed. So if you don't enjoy what you're doing, why are you doing it? It's dumb. So there you go. That's mathematically how you do it. Now, I'll tell you what, there's two questions being asked there. Number one, like how do I build out my collection? How do I build out my collection is one of the questions. And then the other question is, how would somebody else build out their collection if they're not me? So I'll try to get to both of those. But let me just give you the too long didn't read aspect of this particular question. And the answer is play a lot. That's it. That's the answer. You got to play a lot. All right, so if you want to end it right here, there you go. But let's get to my points. I'll give you some tips. I'll give you some background. I'll tell you how it is that I built out my collection. And then from there, you can kind of pick out what's going to work well for you. All right, number one, am I in cahoots with Wizards of the Coast? Nope, not at all. They don't do anything for me. I've never talked to them. They've never contacted me. I am not in cahoots with Wizards of the Coast at all. I'm exactly the same guy right now as I was when I first opened my account as far as my relationships with that company. Nothing. Number two, am I spending my lunch money on buying luxury digital cardboard rectangles? Maybe. You have to decide. It is a free game, right? You can play this as free as you want to pay. But one of my points is, spend some money. You just have to ask yourself, how much money can you afford to spend? And, you know, I'll give you some pointers there. Lastly, am I drafting a ton? No, I am not. Should you draft if you want to get your collection big? Yeah, you probably should, because mathematically that's the best way to do it. But like I said, drafting drives me crazy. I like drafting when I'm playing against my friends, just because then everybody's playing at the same level. It's not about what kind of cards could they afford versus the kind of cards I can afford. Drafting just says everybody gets to play with the same crap. So I do enjoy that. But when I'm playing online, I don't particularly care for it, because I'm not playing with my friends. I'm just playing with some randos out there. So anyways, this is what I do. I got 6 points to talk about. So let's cut through them. Number one, we already hit it online. Number one, play a lot. That is what I do. I play a lot. How much do I play? I play every day. And the point is that when you play a lot, you're going to find out that there are daily goals. And you want to meet those daily goals. And that from meeting those daily goals, they'll either give you packs, or they'll give you coins, or they'll give you experience, or they'll give you whatever, right? And you want to get those things, because the more experience you get, then the more, other things kind of come into a place. Experience leads you're going up the mastery list or whatever. And mastery list has rewards. A lot of times those are more packs. You just got to do everything you can to try to maximize the amount of packs that you're going to get in a day. Now, if you want to skip a day, that's fine. It's no big deal. You got like 3 days to hit every goal. So that means you need to play roughly every 3 days. But the more you don't play, the more you have to play in the days to be able to get things cleaned up. But don't let those things slide. That's the carrot that they get to try to get you to play every single day. And that's what makes you play for free and being able to play Magic cards without having to put any money to it. Playing is the cheapest way of getting your stuff for free. They give you a certain amount of cards. They give you an amount of pre-cons, whatever the deal is, you get cards. So just play. That's all there is to it. I found that usually you get between 1 and 2 packs per day from playing. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2. Rarely, sometimes you can get 3 out of what you're doing, depending upon what kind of goals you're hitting and how much experience you have and other things that are going on. But you just got to go at it. Just assume if you're brand new and you're starting that, you just got to lump through that point where you just don't have anything except for the crap they give you to start off with. And you're not, you can be playing against people who have much better decks and they're going to be coming at you. But all you can do is just play and recognize that what you're doing is you're just trying to get cards. Don't worry about whether you're losing or not. It doesn't matter. You just have to play. Let's see. When I first started playing, it probably took me a month. I'm guessing it was a long time ago. Obviously, the channel's been out for 3.5 years now. And I played for, I don't know, a couple years or something before I started recording. Maybe more than that. I can't believe it's been that long. It sure doesn't feel that long, but it certainly has been. But I'm guessing like 3 weeks, a month, something like that, until I felt like I had a reasonable amount of cards to field a few good decks, But yeah, it took a little while. It took a while playing like every day. And but once you get that initial bunch of cards, right, then, where you feel like you got a decent amount, you can put together, some of those good decks are out there. A lot of them are relatively cheap. You got a lot of rares and mythics you got to play with to get the real good stuff. But once you get that, you'll have it. You have a good set of cards. And you just got to keep playing and building and building and building every day till you get it. I'll tell you what, once you get that first bunch of cards, you got like whatever it is, 75% of a set, something like that, you're going to be in a really good place. And you'll know it because you'll feel it. Like anytime you go out and you just get a deck, you'll probably just have the cards for it. You'll have like all the cards but one mythic or something, right? That's when you know that you've made it. You got what you need and everything's good. It just takes time. It takes a lot of time. And when you do it right at the very beginning, you need to focus on like the cards that are going to help you out with what you want to do right off the bat. You're going to pick something, some deck you want, whatever it is. Mono red aggro, do that. And then from there, you start messing around with variations on mono red aggro. But, you pick those kinds of cards, whatever you're going to do with it. But yeah, you want to play a lot and focus on what you're getting. Because you're pretty much stuck with whatever they give you, but then you get those wild cards, right? And wild cards is where you have to make decisions. And I would say this is my steal, is that when it comes to wild cards, you hold on to them. Just hold on to them, because then whenever you want to pull a deck, you just pull up the deck list and you just say, yeah, just fill it out with whatever wild cards I got. I don't care. You don't have to have the cards in your set if you got wild cards. Sometimes I like to go in, especially if I've got like a trillion commons, wild cards, I'll just get the whole set. I'll get everything, because why not at that point? It's same thing with uncommons. But when it comes to rares and mythics, you'll never be in a situation, never, ever, ever be in a situation in which you don't need something else that you don't have yet. It's pretty rare, unless you're going to drop tons of money. And I'm telling you, I'm not dropping tons of money. I'm not doing that at all. We'll get to that in a second. There's like right now. Let me show you something here. All right, so here's Untapped GG. This is my particular profile over there, and you can see this is my my collection. And if I were to click into these things, we can see that when it comes to Aetherdrift and by rarity, I have 96% of the rares. I think is that a play set? Yeah, play sets. That means I've got 4 of all of the rares for 96% of the cards out there. There are 3 of them I don't have right now. How about rares? 75%. There's a bunch of rares I don't have. And so I try to keep my wild cards available. How many do I have? None. I have no rare wild cards available right now, which is hard. There's a lot of decks I pull up. I want to play them, and I only have 3 of them or 2 of them or something like that. We'll get into what you do about that later on. But as you can see, I play every single day, every day. And yet I'm still missing like a quarter of the rares from Aetherdrift, which has been out, for like a month now, something like that. What about foundations? I got 90%, 97%. I only got 87% of the uncommons from foundations. But the thing is, though, is that I don't need them. It's probably because I have cards going all the way back from well before this, right? They're only showing back to Dominaria United. I got stuff from before that. But yeah, the deal is that when it comes to foundations, they pulled from a lot of older sets. I already had those cards. Reason why it's been a lot easier for me to be able to play things since foundations is because I have an old set. I've just been playing for such a long time. So that's you just got to recognize is that it takes time to build up your cards. Once you have a glut of cards already, they tend to replicate themselves a lot. And then you already have those cards when they put them out. And Arena is perfectly good at just letting you repick cards you already have. Dustmorn, I got 100% when it comes to the rares and mythics. Uncommons, nope. But you know what? Who cares, right? These are cards I've never worried about. I've never gone to, and it's never been a deal. Big score, that wasn't even really a thing. I don't even know where those came from. They just kind of magically appeared one day. I don't have them all. I think I went out of my way to try to be a 100% collector on these guys, but it seemed easier. They've been releasing them a lot of big sets recently. Haven't been able to keep up on them. You just don't get the cards that often. So anyways, there you go. One of the things I wanted to point out is use a tool like this. Untapped GG's, what is it called? Collection Manager, something like that. Reason why is because based on your collection, it can say, look, they have 109 standard decks that I can play with my collection right now. And so when Untapped GG knows about what is in your collection, it can tell you, hey, we got a bunch of decks that you can play straight up. And if you click on that, it'll take you and show you all these decks that you can play, which is a fantastic way to go. And if you got things that are close, you can go in and just change them a little bit, right? So Untapped GG is a great tool, free tool for finding out what you can play with your decks. It gives you lots of options. All right, let's see. Number 2. What do? I buy the pre-release packs for a set when a new set comes out. That's $50. So every time there's a new set, I lay down $50. Why do I do that? I'll tell you why. Is because if you take a look at how much a pack costs you, a pack costs you 200 gems. 200 gems. And if you do the math based on how much it costs you to buy the gems, then 200 gems costs you in USD $1.25. $1.25. So That's how much a pack costs you if you buy it normally. If you get the pre-release packs, you spend $50 for 50 packs. So that is $1 per pack. That's saving you 25 cents for those 50 packs, which saves you a bunch of money. I'm not going to do the math because math is for nerds. But anyways, that will save you a bunch of money. I just always do it. It's a good way to get started. What's great is on your first day, you open up 50 packs and you got a lot of stuff to play with. Now, you know, it's not all the wild cards you can want, but it is a bunch. You're going to get whatever it is. Like, let's just say it's one wild card per, or one rare per pack, which isn't true. Some will be mythics and stuff like that. But that's 50 good cards. It's not a play set, and there's usually hundreds of them that you need to get, but it's something to start with. The other thing I do is I pay for the Mastery Pass, which I'm glad they broke it out from the drafting part, because I used to pay for that too. But the drafting part costs like whatever it is, $25, and the Mastery Pass costs like $15. So I pay $15 for the Mastery Pass. And the reason why is because as you get more experience, you work your way up the Mastery ladder, and they give you usually art and stuff like that. But they also give you, more packs, right? Now, if you got Mastery Pass, you get more packs per your Mastery Pack levels there. So I always thought that $15 was well worth the amount of money because you end up picking up a lot more. And the good thing about the Mastery Pass is that you could actually go for a long time in a new set, and then you buy the Mastery Pass later, and they'll just go ahead and give you everything that you would have gotten if you'd had it since the very beginning. So you could just drop that later on and just pick a whole bunch up at one time. That works out really well. I did that the first time. I thought that was good. So altogether, I pay whatever it is, $65 a set to win or to get those cards. Now, how do I afford that? Number one, I'm a grown-up. Okay, I can afford $65, right? It's not that big of a deal. Number two, I put out a Magic Card video on YouTube, and the amount that I get per month is roughly about $65 per month, right? So 1 month of me doing these videos is about the equivalent of the pre-release pack. So what's nice is that this channel pays for my cards. You know what? I don't make enough money to buy hundreds of cards like I've seen other people do. I can pay for the pre-release pack. There you go. That was number 2. Okay, let's get to number 3. Draft tokens. All right, so I hate drafting. I really don't like it. But you know what Arena does? They give you draft tokens. They just give them to you sometimes. Probably because they're trying to get you hooked. It's like the dealer that gives you your free ones for free, trying to get you hooked on that sweet, sweet candy, right? They give you draft tokens. And when you got the time, go out there and draft a little bit. Just don't worry about it, right? But just go out, draft, pick up a bunch of cards. It's just your life you're wasting. But other than that, you pick up a bunch of cards. And the cool thing is you can rare draft, right? Like you don't even have to worry about like playing. You're just like out of every pack you get, you just pick the highest card of its, of the rarity that you can find. If you hold down, I think it's the Alt button, it'll show you what you don't already have 4 of. And you just pick that. You just pick it. You go, okay, I'm taking the Mythic, I'm taking the Rare, I'm taking Uncommons, and at the end, you just pick whatever commons are left over. So, yeah, it's a good way of just getting cards, but don't pay for it yourself. Damn it, that's the thing. Like I said, it just takes time. But number 3, that's it, draft tokens. Let's see. I got one tip here. Number 4, which is do not buy the art. That is a sucker's bet. They put the art up, the alternate art up in the store all the time. It's like those things are not the cards. They are the art for the cards, and which means you can only use the art for the card if you have the card. And you look at it and you're like, oh, that is so cool looking. I really want to do it. It's money that you should be spending on packs. You might think, well, I already got the cards for this set. Guess what, man? There's going to be more cards that you want in the next set. Save your money. Once you get enough cards from one set and you don't need to get any more, then save your money because there's always going to be another pack and the art is just a sucker's bet. You know what they give you when you get the master set? Art. They give you art all the time. So just don't buy it. Just let them give it to you for free. It's something that other people will give to you, but it doesn't matter. You need those cards, and packs are the way you get to it. Let's see. Number 5, I have once you feel like you have enough cards in your current set, you need to start saving your wild cards for the next set. It seemed like, especially like in the olden days, they had a lot more sets that weren't in standard. And it seemed like there's more time between sets. And it was kind of good. I mean, I disliked it because I like to play standard. And I don't like the other stuff as much. And so then we get to this point where we go for months without getting a new set for standard. And it was kind of disappointing. But one of the cool things is I could save up lots of money and lots of wild cards. And I remember that when I got my new set, I picked up that 50. And then I had so many wild cards, I could pick up like another 50 packs of stuff. And the number of money I'd saved up. Another 50 packs, just dropped it. I had like 100 packs at release. That was fantastic. But, you just got to get to a point where you don't need those wild cards anymore and you just save them. So just worry about that. But once again, this is going to be a while. If you're brand new to this thing, you got to build up your collection first. And then when you kind of get that feeling like you don't really need new cards, don't go after the crap cards that you haven't played yet. It's like just because you want to have a full set, it doesn't matter. There are so many cards out there you will never play with. And if they don't give them to you for free, don't waste a wild card on them. Save it, because the stuff you want is the stuff you want to save your wild cards for. Let's see. Then number 6, when a set first comes out, I play with what I have. You have to be choosy about what decks you're going to be playing with, and it can be disappointing. Disappointing. So, I mean, that's the thing, is that I put out a deck practically every single day. And we got a new set, and I'm just like, look at all these new decks that are out there. Oh, this is fantastic. And then it turns out that, I open up my 50 packs and I got all my new cards. I can't play them. I can't play a lot of them. And it's a very disappointing time. And so I'm digging through and I'm trying to find decks that I can play that, maybe use a lot of my old cards with just a few of the new cards. Or, maybe they're all a bunch of stuff from, commons and uncommons. They're easy to get your hands on, but, maybe light on the rares. I got to pick something that my rares can do. When you open up 50 packs, the number of rare wild cards you're going to get is going to be a good amount, 6, 7, 8, something like that. So you got to be choosy about what deck you really want to play, and then recognize that you're probably going to be playing with those same rares a couple of times for the first couple of weeks while you are playing to try to get your other cards. So you want to do a lot of cool stuff at first, but it just takes some time. It doesn't take a lot of time. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's like, 3 or 4 weeks is what it feels like. And you got to keep playing, grind through it every single day, but you got to go for it. And like I pointed out before, using tools like UntappedGG's Companion can help, because it can point out which decks you are currently capable of building. When you find a deck that you do want to play, but you don't have all the cards, see if you can swap out the missing cards for something that is close. Even to this day, I am finding decks out there that I want to play, and I don't have, usually it's one out of the rares that are out there. Like I have 0 with rare wild cards right now. The chances of me finding a deck where I am rare on while I do not have enough rares, it's still 50% or something like that. So what do? I just drop whatever I don't have. As long as I have 2 or 3 of whatever the rare is, that's usually good enough. If I don't have 4, that's fine. And then I'll just bump something else up that I do have to back up to whatever the next one up is. It usually works out great. Or if you got an older, collection of cards, you can find something that's similar to it and put that in instead. A lot of times it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're going for a combo deck, then the specific cards you're going for matter a lot. If you're going for a mid-range deck, it doesn't matter. If you're going for aggro, there's usually lots of opportunities to do something else. Control, no big deal. Yeah, because like you're looking to wipe the board. There's like 5 different board wipe cards out there right now. But if you're looking to do a specific combo that does a certain thing, it gets a lot tighter, a lot tighter. And if you don't have a big collection, you don't have much to dig through, so you're kind of stuck with just waiting until you get what you want. But you got to be focused. You got to be focused. All right, so that's all my tips. Let me just cover it up real quick. It's just you got to keep playing. You got to just grind through it until you get your set going. If you got some money, the mastery pass would be the best hit for the smallest amount of money. It's like $15, right? If you can afford the pre-release, it's worth it. It's a great way of doing things. But then it's just keep playing. If you get any draft tokens, just use them. Get whatever cards you got out of them. That works well. Never buy art. And when you do get to a point where you're feeling good, save wild cards for the next set. And then just learn how to play with the cards you have. So that's the whole thing. All right, thanks for tuning in today. If you decide to play with the things I taught you how to do today, I hope that you have a good time. Later. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.